I think we stopped here at the examination, right? We saw what is an examination, what is a medical test, and few other concepts we saw. We could cover only this much yesterday. So today let's
Yes.
continue with the examination types. So let me just cut this. Yeah. So what is an examination type? I told you already what is an examination. It is a collection of medical tests which we do, and even in the examination you will get a lot of physical values. Okay, so when you group together a number of medical tests, we call that as an examination. That is why here they have given it is a medical procedure where you get the measurable results. And also they have given two examples. One we have audiogram, another eye test. So I was telling yesterday, eye test, when you go for any vision test or eye test, normally it is not just one test that they are going to do. They will conduct multiple tests. So first they will make you read letters on a board, okay, and they will constantly change the lens. So from that also they will get some idea like what is the power which is suitable for you. And then after that they will investigate the eyes under some medical equipment. So they will put some drops in your eyes and then they will check your eyes. They will do the measurement again in the medical device. And again physically also they will check your eyes. So there are multiple tests that will be carried out when you go for a eye test. That is why we call it as a examination. We don't call it as a medical test. It is actually a examination. Even color tests they do. I mean, not for everybody. Sometimes if people are having some other vision related issue, they will do color testing also, or color blindness test they will do. All the such sort of things are available. Right? So we call it as an examination. Again, within this examination, there are three types of examinations. And they are created on the basis of time period. On the basis of time, we have three types of examinations. One is called initial examination. When an employee joins a company and when he goes initially for some medical checkup for the first time, we call it as an initial examination. And after that, that guy or that employee is supposed to go every year for that medical checkup. He has to go every year. Then that same examination will be called as a periodic examination because it will be repeated, maybe half yearly or yearly or quarterly. Because it is going to be repeated again and again. That's why we call it as a periodic examination. Next, we have past exposure examination. If the employee has recently joined and he is from some other organization, so before we give him full responsibility, we have to do some his past exposure examination. Because while he was working for some other organization, it is quite possible that his health has some issues because of the working conditions there, and we have to check that. It should not happen that the blame comes entirely on the current organization. Whenever somebody working in a chemical sector, especially when he joins another company, they will do the background, just like a background verification, they will do the past exposure examination. So in this they will come to know when he is joining the company, at that time itself, are there any health issues or not. If there are, then the HR is going to take a call, should we continue to employ him or should we terminate. So that is called as a past exposure examination. Right? We have initial examination, periodic examination and past exposure examination. Next we go to another very important term called as a health surveillance protocol. Now this term, I feel that it is used only in SAP because we normally don't hear this word outside of SAP. Health surveillance protocol. So what exactly is a health surveillance protocol? I will write the definition and then we can discuss. A set of medical examinations and tests. A set of medical examinations and tests that a person must undergo to enable possible health risks to enable possible health risks to be recognized, treated, and if need be, prevented. Okay, so this is the definition they have given for health surveillance protocol. So according to this definition, health surveillance protocol is nothing but it is also a medical checkup. The other easier way to explain a health surveillance protocol is it is a medical checkup. That is why they are saying it is a set of medical examinations and tests that a person must undergo. And why the person has to undergo? So that we can enable possible health risks to be recognized, so that we can find out if there are any health issues with that person. If yes, then we can do the treatment, or if there is a possibility that in future some health issues may arise, then we can do the prevention. So there are three benefits from a health surveillance protocol. And every person has to go through, whether he is an employee or whether he is just a person, or whether it's a child or some elderly person, doesn't matter. Everybody has to go through a medical checkup at least once in a year. Normally we take it very lightly, especially at home. When you tell them, they say, what is wrong with the health? I am completely fine. Why should I go for a medical checkup? Like that, normally people, you can hear, they say like that. A person may look healthy from outside, but what is happening inside, what is the medical condition inside, we don't know that. Until and unless we subject him to some kind of medical examination, it is not possible to find out. And even if there is some health issue, initially he will not come to know that. It will not be so sudden, or it will not be acute. But over a period of time, slowly the health is going to get deteriorated, and then it will be too late. So therefore, if you go for a medical checkup on a regular basis, we can at least identify if there are any health risks, possible health risk. We are not saying that definitely he will have a health risk, but maybe there is a possibility we can identify what is the health risk. And we can identify the health risk, definitely we can start the treatment. Right? We can start the treatment. See, if any employee is having a cancer, let's say, if he is working with chemicals and over a long period of time, if he develops cancer, then we can immediately start the treatment. If you can send him for medical checkup, and at the earlier stage itself, if you can identify, we can start the treatment. But if it goes to stage 3 or stage 4, then it is too late. We cannot do anything much about that. So therefore it is important that we have to go for this medical checkup, so that we can recognize any health risk. If there is any health risk, we can start the treatment, and in most of the cases we can also do the prevention of cardiac arrest, for example. If any person is having a chest pain, let's say employee, if he is complaining every few days that he is having a chest pain, then possible cause may be related to heart disease. So like if he goes for medical checkup very early, we can find out what is the reason, and we can start the treatment. We can prevent a major heart attack, or we can prevent a major cardiac arrest. But if he neglects and if he continues as usual, then we cannot say one fine day it will be too late. There may be a major cardiac arrest, and he may lose his life. So why medical checkup is important? Because we can do a lot of prevention of diseases and illnesses. And also stroke related, a lot of people, before they get this stroke, there will be some symptoms that will develop. Those symptoms you can only come to know when you go for a medical checkup. Right? So once you complete the medical checkup, if there are those symptoms, then the doctor will advise for further, diagnosis, and then they will start the treatment. In a way, you can prevent most of the major health issues at the later stage. So we can do prevention also. That is why I say there are 3 benefits when you go for a medical checkup. So that medical checkup, in SAP terminology, we call it as a health surveillance protocol. Health surveillance protocol. Right? Got it? So this is a medical checkup that every person has to undergo. Okay, any doubt up to here? Are you clear with health surveillance protocol? And this health surveillance protocol is not only related to just medical checkup. Even when you are sending employees for, let's say, vaccination, even that comes under a health surveillance protocol. But we'll see that later when we go to practicals. We'll see the vaccination, how the vaccination plan is created, why do we call it as a health surveillance protocol, and what other kind of medical checkups come under health surveillance protocol. We'll see that in detail. Okay, so for now, just understand the meaning of a health surveillance protocol. Okay, so this health surveillance protocol, by the way, let me see if I can show you a health surveillance protocol. Just give me a second. Because while I am doing the theory, if I can also show you some data, it will be better. Okay, so the transaction code for that, let me check. EHSVU01. Okay, now you see here, these are some of the health surveillance protocols which are there already in the SAP system. Okay, and most of them are medical checkups. Like, see, for example, employment checkup. When you join any company or when you are about to join a company, you have to go for employment checkup. So this is one type of a health surveillance protocol. Similarly, any professional driver, company driver, if you have, even he has to go for regular medical checkup. So that is also one kind of health surveillance protocol related to driving. Or if there are employees working with chemicals, then we have to send them for chemical exposure medical checkup. So that will come under the category of chemical. This is also a health surveillance protocol. Or if somebody is continuously working under noise, then there is a noise exposure and we have to send him for noise related medical checkup. Right? So all these are health surveillance protocols. Even a general medical checkup can be called as a protocol, and even medical checkup can be called as a health surveillance protocol. But apart from these things, you see below, if I come down, I have something here called as a category vaccination. So hepatitis vaccination or tetanus or meningitis, all these are different types of vaccinations we have. Even providing vaccination is also called as a health surveillance protocol. Right? So these are some examples which are already there in the system. And I think this is the new health surveillance protocol I created. Because somebody asked
What is the transaction?
transaction code is EHSVU01. EHSVU01 to go to a health surveillance protocol. And see, by the way, apart from this vaccination, you can see brief consultation. Some kind of consultations can also be called as a health surveillance protocol. We can create this. Now, let's say, for example, if the company is going to provide a new kind of medical service for the employees, let's say it's a new kind of medical checkup, then you have to first create that medical checkup here. You have to create that health surveillance protocol here, and then you have to add what kind of examinations will be done in that particular medical checkup, according to which regulation it is mandatory or whether it is optional, that we can maintain. And protocol frequencies means how many days once they have to repeat that medical checkup, so that protocol frequency also you can maintain. If it is something related to agent, like if there is any exposure to agent like chemicals or noise or any other kind of agent, we can also maintain the agent related data. So creating health surveillance protocol is not so easy, but by coming here, you can create any kind of health surveillance protocol. Okay, anything like if there is any new medical checkup that we can do for employees, we can create that here. But how exactly it is done, what happens in that, we'll see that later on. if you want to see, like I can show you here, protocol frequency. So employment checkup, how many times they do the employment checkup? Do you know how many times they do the employment checkup?
At the initial stage.
Yeah, just once. Absolutely. That is
Yeah.
why we have just initial examination here. If it was repeated, then you would find below follow-up examination also. But we don't have that. It's just a one-time medical checkup. Then we have agents is not applicable because employment checkup is a general checkup. So no need of adding any agent. And then you have a regulation. According to which regulation do you have to do this medical checkup? Because see, there are some regulations which make you mandatorily we have to send the employees for medical checkup, like chemical exposure, or if employees are exposed to noise, such kind of medical checkups need to be repeated and they are mandatory, right? So if you have any regulatory reference, we can add that regulation name. Here, this is some German word they have added. According to this German regulation, we have to send the employee for medical checkup. Okay, this is the name of that regulation. I mean, if you can read it, it's good. This is the name of that regulation. So in India, if you have occupational health and safety regulation, which mandates you to send the employee for medical checkup, we can add that also as a legal basis. So wherever this legal basis comes into picture, those medical checkups are mandatory. You have to do it. You have to send all the employees for that medical checkup. Like noise, for example, or chemical exposure, people working with chemicals. According to the government requirements, you have to send the employee for medical checkup. Then what else do we have? Yeah, what kind of examinations will be done? See, if I just say employment checkup, do you understand what they are going to do inside? This is just a name. This is the name of that medical checkup. But exactly what kind of medical test they are going to do, that you can add here in the examination tab. So if you go here, you can add under employment checkup what kind of examinations will be done or what kind of medical tests will be done. So you can see very clearly, audiogram is going to be done under employment checkup. Blood test will be done under the employment checkup, and also lung function test, LFT. This is also one medical test or medical examination. So these three kind of medical examinations are applicable in a employment checkup. Not only that, again see, if you select some like here audiogram, there are two options here, physical test and laboratory test. So audiogram will come in laboratory test or physical test. Audiogram test is
Physical
done,
test.
it's a
Physical
physical
test.
test. Absolutely. They will make you wear the headphones and they will apply the frequency. So it is done physically. They don't collect a blood sample or a tissue sample and then they will do the examination. It's not like that. It's a physical test. So if you again go to the physical test, under audiogram, whatever medical test will be done, that will be displayed. But here some error, invalid examination category it is showing. I don't know. It's not showing you physical test. Let me check in laboratory if at all. No, here also it's not showing. Fine. You can do one thing. Let me check under blood count. So blood count will come in a laboratory test. Okay, see, for the lab test or for the complete blood count examination, all these tests are going to be done. I can see it is a breakup. When I say blood test, exactly what parameters they are going to check in the blood test. You can see them highlighted here. A lot of tests are going to be done, starting with your platelet counts, leukocytes, what all. Hemoglobin test will be done, platelet count, and etc. etc. There are a lot of them. Lymphocytes, monocytes, neutrophils, basophils, red cell distribution, platelet volume, mean cell hemoglobin, mean cell volume, all these tests, maybe like 10, 12. Yeah, all these tests will come under your complete blood count. This is one examination. So whoever is going to join the company, he has to go for this test, and they are going to take a sample of his blood and they will do all these tests which are given. Right? You are getting the point here. So this is one medical examination that will be done on the employee. Similarly, one more examination will be done, that is lung function test. This is also a laboratory test, by the way. For this also there is no information. But yeah, even for lung function test, you have to add the laboratory test. Whichever laboratory test is applicable for this lung function test, we have to add it. Okay, so these are the different examinations that the employee will be subjected to in the employment checkup. Next, what else? Questionnaire. You know what is a questionnaire? Occupational health questionnaire. Maybe this is not practiced in India, but if you go to Western countries or in Europe or in Middle East, there is something called as a questionnaire. So before the employee goes and completes his medical checkup, he has to do one thing. He has to fill up a questionnaire. Like it can be a general questionnaire or it can be a specific questionnaire. But do you have here in India? I doubt that.
I feel yes, sir. Yes or no type question. We need to tick.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But in
Either
which
they have
sector, I don't know. Maybe not in the general manufacturing sector. Not even in construction sector, I know that. Maybe in oil and gas, most probably. Or maybe in the chemical industry. But they have to mandatorily fill that questionnaire. Before going for medical checkup, they have to do that. Right. Let me show you if there is a questionnaire here. So this is a general medical questionnaire which has been attached here. So the employee has to fill this general medical questionnaire and he has to go for the medical checkup. Let's see if I can display. I don't know. Maybe not. Anyways, I will show you. When we go to medical service, there I can show you the exact questions what you can find. But here I can see that for an employment checkup, the employee has to fill the general medical questionnaire. It will contain general questions like does he smoke, does he drink alcohol, is he suffering from any family or hereditary related diseases, are his parents or siblings suffering from any hereditary disease, okay, did he got admitted to the hospital in the last 5 years, if yes, what was the reason, did he get operated for some reason in the last 10 years, is he taking any medication currently or not, is he suffering from any kind of illness or any disease, all that general questions he has to answer, he has to disclose all that. And does he wear the PP or not while working, whether he is suffering from hearing loss or not. Like that, there will be a list of questions which he has to answer. It will be just multiple choice questions. Yes or no he has to select, but at some places he has to even explain. Like for example, if he got admitted to the hospital 5 years ago, what is the reason? He has to give a brief reason. Right, so it is like that. It will contain general questionnaire. So even that is a part of your health surveillance protocol. Whoever is going for this employment checkup has to also complete the questionnaire. It is a very complex thing, guys. So as you can see, there are so many data we have to maintain for the health surveillance protocol. What agents are applicable, if at all, to that medical checkup? How often do we have to repeat that medical checkup? According to which regulation it is mandatory or whether it is an optional medical checkup? Then what kind of examinations will be conducted under that health surveillance protocol, and what questionnaire the employee has to fill before completing the medical checkup. So all that information we have to fill whenever you create a new health surveillance protocol. And not only that, you can see here it will also show the status. What is the current status of that health surveillance protocol? Green will tell you it is currently active, so people can go and do that medical checkup. But there will be one more. Red color indication will also come, where red color indication tells you that the health surveillance protocol is no longer applicable or no longer available. Right? So that will be indicated here with the red color. Now, what is this yellow color indicator? Do you know what is this yellow color indication?
In progress.
Sir, I think in progress, sir.
In progress means what? See, I told you we have to create this health surveillance protocol, correct? Already they have created this employment checkup. After completing all the data, after filling all the information, they have activated. That is why we are getting a green indicator. But if all this data is not completed, if it is still going on, if you have not completed your health surveillance protocol, then it will be in process. Right? So this breathing apparatus related some medical checkup they are creating, but they have not yet completed. So after completing that medical checkup, what you have to do is you have to go inside and you see here there is a status option. You can make it as active. Once you select the option active, it means that medical checkup is also available for the employees. But if you keep it in process, means still they are planning. Still they are adding data into that health surveillance protocol. That is the meaning of in process. And if you want to make this as inactive, or if you no longer want to give that medical checkup for the employees, you can change the status to inactive. So these three statuses are there. Wherever you get the green indication, those health surveillance protocols are active. Right? It is like that. I just wanted to show you what is health surveillance protocol, so I just came here. Okay, clear so far? Health surveillance protocol. It's kind of a medical checkup. In that medical checkup, what we are going to do, what medical tests will be done, for whom it is applicable, whether it is mandatory or optional, all the data we have to create and maintain. That is a health surveillance protocol. Fine. So I will close this. Yeah. So that is a health surveillance protocol, and like you saw already, we have some statuses for that. One we saw in green color, another we saw in yellow color indicator, and also there is a red color indicator. But exactly what does it mean? Let's try to understand what is the meaning of each of those colors. So first is active status. Right? This is the first status, active. So active status means the medical service or medical, let me say the health surveillance protocol. The health surveillance protocol is available for the employees. So tomorrow if you want to go for some medical checkup, yeah, that medical checkup is available. That is why it is showing in green color. Next we have another status called in process status, which means the health surveillance protocol is in the planning stage. It's not yet available. Third, we have inactive. Inactive status is a status where the health surveillance protocol is no longer available for the employees. Can you name one? Can you give one example of some medical checkup which was there earlier but now it is no longer available? And everybody knows that.
COVID-19 test.
Yeah, absolutely. RT-PCR test. Is your company still doing that test for you? Is it mandatory anywhere nowadays?
No, I guess.
No. It was just there for 2 years, maybe maximum 3 years, by 2020, 21, and let's say 23 also. But after that, no, we don't even hear. So let's say if the company had created that health surveillance protocol, let's say as an example, if we had any such RT-PCR test created in the company, and because it is no longer applicable, what they will do? They will go into that health surveillance protocol and they will change the status to inactive. Right? So once you change it to inactive, then what happens? Here you will get a green color indication. I have to save it once. Yeah, see here. It means it is inactive. It is no longer available for the employees. So that is the meaning. One is RT-PCR test, but I don't know any other test. Mostly all the other tests are still applicable. So that is your status related to health surveillance protocol. Now let's move on to diagnosis. What is a diagnosis? Anybody knows?
The condition.
Condition. Condition is called illness.
It's findings of physician
Disease condition.
regarding
The
any
patient.
illness.
Of a person.
Yes.
Diagnosis is what you know when you go to a physician with a complaint of headache, let's say. You are constantly having headache and you go to maybe neurologist or maybe to a general physician and you will tell that you are having a headache. Now, what is the reason for the headache? We have to first find out what is the root cause. Why are you getting headaches? How often are you getting the headaches? Because headaches can come from various reasons. One can be stress. Second can be vision related issues. If your eyes have some issue, because of that also you will get a headache. Yeah. Or if you are sleepless, if you are not getting enough sleep, you are going to get a headache. Or maybe there is some neurological disorder inside your brain, that could also be one of the reasons. So there are many reasons. Until and unless you don't know exactly what is the reason because of which you are getting a headache, we cannot start the treatment. So what the doctor has to do, he will find the root cause. Therefore, he will send you to conduct several medical tests and he will ask you to come with the report. And after referring to the report, he can come to some conclusion what could be the reason. If it is related to eye or vision related issue, they will provide you with the lenses, or you can wear spectacles, or you can go for a eye surgery. Yeah, some treatment can be done, but first we have to know what is the root cause. So therefore, finding out the root cause of any illness is called as a diagnosis. Only after you come to know what is the root cause, only then they will start the treatment. Many people get confused. They will think that diagnosis and treatment both are same. It is not. Diagnosis is a different thing. Treatment is a different thing. Both are not same. Diagnosis is mostly involving doing the medical tests or examinations on the person. That is a diagnosis. Okay, let me write this. The findings of the physician regarding the illness of a person. Regarding the illness of a person. After getting the diagnosis report, then they will start the treatment. Next, another very simple definition we have for health center. I'll just write this. A location where occupational health examinations are performed. See, mind you, they are using this particular word occupational health examination. You cannot say all your diagnostic laboratories in the city. like SRL Diagnostics, or you cannot say Apollo Diagnostics or any other XYZ Diagnostics. They are not related to occupational, right? They are general laboratories. Anybody can go, anybody can do the medical checkup. It is not reserved for a particular group of people, right? Here they are speaking about occupational health examination. Can you tell me which is applicable here for occupational health examinations? What is the laboratory or a health center we have which is applicable only for workers and for the employees? We have that in every state.
ESI.
Ah,
ESI.
absolutely, 100% correct. It is a ESI hospital where mostly the employees has to go and visit there and they can get the free treatment, or even medical examinations will also be done. It is reserved for employees and their family members. Not anybody else who is not holding a ESI card, those people cannot go. So this is one example I can give for a health center. ESI hospitals are in every city almost, and you can go and get the medical facility free of cost. That is called as a health center. Okay, so this is some basic data concepts we have seen up to the health center. Now let's carry on. Yeah, there is one more thing I want to add here. Anyways, I told you about the questionnaire. Right? I told you about the questionnaire. Questionnaire is nothing but it is a list of questions related to the health of the employee. Okay, regarding the health status of the employee, there will be a number of questions which the employee has to answer. That is a questionnaire. But again, within that questionnaire, there are two types. One is called general questionnaire. Right? Here I think we saw, if you remember, when we went into the questionnaire section, it was showing as a general questionnaire. So what is a general questionnaire? We have general questionnaire as well as specific questionnaire. What is the difference between the two? And which one you have to answer, it will depend on for what kind of medical checkup you are going. That is important. Depending on for what kind of medical checkup you are going, they will select that questionnaire. So what is a general questionnaire? Let's say you are going for a general medical checkup. Maybe this is the first time you have joined the company and going for a medical checkup. So they will send you for a general medical checkup. In such a case, for that medical checkup, the applicable questionnaire is a general questionnaire. It will contain questions which are very general in nature. For example, I told you already, whether do you smoke or whether do you drink, or are you suffering from any disease or illness? Are you taking any treatment currently or not? Are you on medication or not? Are you suffering from any hereditary disease or not? Okay, did you get admitted for some reason? Did you get operated for some reason? All these are general questions. And you have to answer, especially when you go for a general medical checkup. But a specific questionnaire is a questionnaire where the questions are very pointed and they are directed towards one requirement. Like, for example, let's say, what example can I give? Okay, let's say if you go for a noise exposure medical checkup, where they will conduct audiogram test, you are going for a noise exposure medical checkup. So what will be the questions in that? It's a specific questionnaire. They will ask questions like, are you suffering from any hearing loss? Yes or no? You have to select one of the options. If yes, then you have to tell from how many years. Then second question may be, do you wear ear muffs or ear plugs when you are operating in a noisy environment? Yes or no? Again, you have to select the correct answer. Then you have to again, there may be another question where they may ask you, are you taking any treatment for hearing loss currently? Yes or no? Again, you have to select. Then are they providing training related to noise related hazards in the company? Again, yes or no. Like that, all these questions that I am telling you are related to one particular topic, that is noise exposure. That is why we call it as a specific questionnaire. Another employee, maybe he is working at height, okay, he's a scaffolder maybe, for example, who will go and work at height. So for such an employee, when he's going for a medical checkup, they will ask a specific questionnaire, like, are you suffering from vertigo, yes or no? You know what is vertigo? क्या होता है vertigo?
Yes, sir. Vertical is a specific stage in construction site
Hmm.
for doing height work.
Yeah.
Is a special test conducting is the construction site, sir.
Yeah. Okay. But
Tinnitus.
what?
Tinnitus ringing sensation in our ears.
Yeah, that is fine. Is it related to working at height?
Related to working at height, sir. It is related to working at height.
What? Tinnitus?
Sorry, sir.
No, what I'm asking, see, I told you about vertigo. Are vertigo and tinnitus both same?
No, sir. Vertigo. During vertigo, patient will feel that sensation, tinnitus and ringing sensation in their ears.
Is it? Okay, I was not knowing that. Maybe if somebody is standing at a height, let's say at the edge of the building, like you are saying, maybe he may start hearing that ringing sensation in his ears. Maybe because of fear. So we call that as tinnitus. But here, vertigo itself means people who have fear of working at height or people who are afraid of heights. Such people will get giddiness, they may become unconscious and they may fall, because of that fear, phobia. Such people should not be allowed to go and work at height. Okay? If you are having fear of heights, you should not go and work at height. That is why, especially in the construction field, they will first check whether this person is having this vertigo effect or not. Can he work at height comfortably or not? They will do this examination. Otherwise, it's difficult. He may fall from height. Some people will become unconscious just by looking at the height, they will become unconscious. Or some people may start vomiting. That is also possible. So all these symptoms that I am telling you are related to vertigo. So if there is a scaffolder, a person who is working at height, if he is going for a medical checkup, then they will check only specific questions. Like, are you comfortable working at height? Do you feel uneasiness while standing at the edge of the building? Okay. Have they provided you working at height training? Are you suffering from vertigo or not? Like that, they will ask only specific questions. That is why we call it as a specific questionnaire. Okay, I hope you are getting some idea. What is this general questionnaire and specific questionnaire? So, depending on what kind of medical checkup you are going for, they will select that questionnaire and they will add it, and the employee has to answer. See, this is a mandatory requirement in other countries. If you go to the medical checkup without that questionnaire, they will not complete your medical checkup. There are two documents which every employee has to carry for medical checkup. What are those two documents? One is questionnaire, completed questionnaire. Second is invitation letter. Here we don't follow both. We don't need invitation letter also. Simply you can go to that medical center and tell the company name, they will do the medical checkup. But in other countries, it's not like that. You have to take with you your invitation letter, also questionnaire. Both are required. Right? So that is a questionnaire. Clear so far? Please let me know if you have any doubts, any questions, because we have just completed the basic data concepts. Next we have schedule planning. Okay, from here the data, master data starts. From schedule planning, we have all these master data or applications, I can say, for occupational health. So what is a schedule planning? This component enables you to determine which health surveillance protocols are due, schedule the relevant appointments, and send out invitations. Okay, what is schedule planning? According to the definition SAP has given, it is a component or a application that enables you to determine which health surveillance protocols are due. Means, out of the employees that we have in the company who are supposed to go for a particular medical checkup, whose medical checkup is pending, that you can come to know. So you can filter the list of employees who are supposed to complete a particular medical checkup. That can be done in a schedule planning. Okay, so first we can determine which health surveillance protocols are due. Secondly, we can schedule the relevant appointments. We can create an appointment. Let's say if you are planning to send 10 employees next week for some medical checkup, you can select their names and you can create an appointment. You can say these people are supposed to go for medical checkup on a particular date, let's say on 14th of June, okay, morning at 9 a.m. You can create an appointment. Not only creating appointment, you can also share the invitation letters with all those employees. Because like I told you, remember, without invitation letter, they will not do the medical checkup. So by using schedule planning application, we can determine who are the people whose medical checkups are pending. We can create appointments for those medical checkups and we can share the invitation letter. These three activities can be done in a schedule planning. Next, similar to your schedule planning, we have one more application called as a planning cockpit. It is very similar to your schedule planning. Let me write first. The planning cockpit provides you with a complete overview of a series of important scheduling processes. The planning cockpit provides you with a complete overview of a series of important scheduling processes in occupational healthcare. Yeah, so they are giving very general definition. They are simply saying that it will provide you with a complete overview of a series of important scheduling processes. So schedule planning also same thing, no? We can schedule an appointment, okay? We can send invitations, we can find out which protocols are pending. Same thing we can do here also in planning cockpit. But there are a couple of other things you can do additionally which cannot be done in a schedule planning. So let me tell you what all the things you can do in a planning cockpit. So first and foremost, we can assign health surveillance protocol protocols to the employees. We can select the employee name and we can assign the medical checkup. So let's say if the employee X has to go for general medical checkup, we can assign a general medical checkup for that employee X. For employee Y, if he is going for a noise exposure medical checkup, we can assign that medical checkup for the employee. So depending on what kind of medical checkup they are supposed to go, we can select and assign the health surveillance protocol. That is the first activity we can do. Next, after that, in the next point or in the next step, we can open a medical service. In step number 2, we can open a medical service. So what is a medical service? A medical service is a ticket or a token. Okay, it's just a number. A medical service, there are actually two types of medical service, I will tell you. But here, under planning cockpit, we can open a medical service. So this medical service is a number. Some reference number, like a ticket or a token, that we have to create whenever the employee is going for a medical checkup. Let's say tomorrow, if one employee is going for a medical checkup, we have to create a medical service. We have to create a number. And why do we have to create a medical service? Because by using that number, we can track whether he has completed the medical checkup or his medical checkup is pending. Did he cancel the appointment, or did he not go for that appointment, no show, or did he cancel it, did he reschedule it? We can check what happened. So once you open a medical service, by using that number, we can check what is the status of that medical checkup. Like suppose if I am supposed to go tomorrow for a medical checkup, and let's say I didn't go, I was absent, I could not go for the medical checkup. So what will happen? In this status, we can say that I did not go for that medical checkup or I was absent. You can select one of the status and you can maintain the data. Or if I go and complete that medical checkup, it will say that completed. If I was not able to go and I requested to reschedule it, then the status will show as rescheduled. So by using that number, I can track what happened with the medical checkup, whether it was completed or not completed. That we can do by using the medical service. It's just a number. Like complaint number, when you have any trouble with one of your electronic devices, you will go and, or maybe you will call up the customer care executive and you will say the problem and they will give you a complaint number. So that will be used as a reference. Tomorrow, if you want to check what happened about your complaint, you can tell them the reference number and they will check. They will say whether it is resolved or whether it is still pending, what happened, they will give you the update. But without that complaint number, they will not come to know exactly what you are speaking about. So that is exactly what we have here in the form of medical service. It's a ticket or a token. It is a number which we can use to track the status of the medical checkup. So this can be done. Next, in step number 3, we can create an appointment in medical practice calendar. There is one application called medical practice calendar. We can go inside that and we can create an appointment. I will show that also in the practical. It will be just like your Windows calendar or Google calendar, where you can open the calendar, you can go to a particular date, you can select that date and you can create a task. Like if it is about going for medical checkup, you can go to the date and you can create a task. In our occupational health also, we have such a calendar and we call it as a medical practice calendar, right? So we'll see that as well. We can create an appointment in medical practice calendar. After that, next we can send invitation letter to the employee. Okay, and the last one, you can share the questionnaire. We can share the questionnaire with the employee. Okay, all these 5 different activities can be carried out in a planning cockpit. But both planning cockpit and schedule planning, both are similar. Don't forget that point. Both are very similar. Even schedule planning can be used to, find out which protocols are due. You can even create appointment there and you can share invitation letter. But additionally, in a planning cockpit, you can open medical service, you can share questionnaire also, okay, and you can open a medical service, or you can even assign a health surveillance protocol. So these additional things are only possible in a planning cockpit. But otherwise, if you look at the overview, both perform same activity. Okay, got it? So that is your planning cockpit. So we saw schedule planning. Similarly, we have planning cockpit and medical practice calendar. I told you it is just a calendar like this, right? Just a calendar where you can go to each. By the way, if you are using Outlook, Microsoft Outlook, you might have seen if you want to schedule any meeting, you can open the Outlook calendar. You can go to a particular date, okay, and you can create some meeting request and you can share that meeting request with the participants. Exactly like that we can also do in our medical practice calendar. We can open that calendar, go to a particular date, and we can select the time from which time to which time you want this medical checkup to be done, and you can save that medical checkup related data. So that appointment can be created in a medical practice calendar. There is no definition as such, but that is how we can explain. Right? So medical practice calendar, planning cockpit and schedule planning. So up to here, is it clear? Any doubt, any question, please let me know. I think now the call will get disconnected, as you know. So before that, if you have any question, do let me know, or tomorrow when you join, you can ask me, no problem. But I hope it is quite straightforward. I don't think there should be any questions, but still, if you have anything, you can ask me.
So, where we can assign that protocol to the employee?
Yeah, I will show that. Don't worry. We are still in the theory part. For example, let's see, time is also up. No, so EHS. 1 second. Yeah, EHSH underscore D underscore PCP. If we get disconnected, tomorrow I'll show you, but let me quickly try to show this one thing. Take any one example. Add the employee to the list. And from the list, we have to add to the planning list. So select that employee, click here on add